All right. Just a quick little breakdown. Because I made some s'mores. So I talk a lot about quadrant one, which is high enjoyment and low calorie density. So usually when I'm talking about this stuff, we spend a lot of emphasis or a lot of time and emphasis on quadrant one, because reason being it's low on calorie density and it's high on enjoyment, meaning it should not be miserable to be eating these things. And so thus you're naturally going to be eating less calories, you're going to feel more full, it's going to be more satisfying, you're going to have fat loss, easy fat loss. It's like if you can eat the things that you want to eat all the time and they're low calorie, like it's impossible to gain any body fat. It's still possible, but since there's low calorie density, you're gonna be full before most likely you exceed the amount of calories that you need. So, anyways, the framework is what's important, right? And understanding that different foods can move around based on your personal preferences and how you make it, right? So, I wanted to spend a little bit of time on quadrant two. Okay, so quadrant two is high enjoyment and high satisfaction. Okay, and for me, the one food in here that I would say that is a quadrant two food regular for me, because you want to spend most of your time here. You want to try to move as much of the daily things that you eat into quadrant one so you make your life easy. And this is what allows you to have quadrant two stuff regularly. So for me, that's going to be donuts. Like you can see if you look at my thing, there's going to be a donut pretty much every morning, right? Where is it? Donut yesterday. Did not track on Saturday. Donut here. Donut here every morning, right? But it's because I stay in quadrant one that that's even possible. You can see like this is quadrant one right here. These were chicken tenders, right? And so it's very important to understand that and then use that lens to be able to make this really impossible to mess up, right? So this morning I posted this, and it's a graham cracker because I like to have some type of dessert. I don't need it, but I like it, and it's a preference. So, I had been eating Oreos, Milanos, things like that. But for some reason, I was like, let's try. I had some chocolate, so I tried the graham cracker, and I was like, this passes the four lenses of fat loss test, right? Um, we want to have at least three. We want to have three, right? You can, and what basically happens if you can have three of the four, you're gonna be pretty much guaranteed to stay lean all the time. Number one, is it low calorie density? Number two, does it taste good? Number three, is it convenient, which means is it fast and easy? And number four, is it simple to track? So the only thing that this doesn't pass on is low calorie density, because the chocolate is pretty calorie dense. But now, we get into, so that's fine, but it's convenient, it tastes good, and it's simple to track. And so since it's not low calorie density, what it does is it moves it from it makes it basically the calorie density is on this side, so it's a quadrant 2 food, right? Now, in this case, our calories are actually still not bad. Like, I mean, it's the equivalent of 4 Oreo thins or 3 regular Oreos, but to me, this is way more satisfying than a couple of Oreos. Um, and so, anyways, I make room for it in my daily diet because I'm spending so much time in quadrant one. This is a check on all four lenses, and it's quadrant one. So, you got chicken, you got the breading, you got bread, and then you got cheese. Super fast, super convenient, easy to track, right? Um, and this was just delicious. This is like like a McChicken sandwich, or a fried chicken sandwich, but not fried. Um, Insane calories here. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying low calorie density. Only 6 fat, 52 carbs, 58 proteins. If you wanted to, you could cook this without the breading. If you wanted to, you could just eat the chicken tenders by themselves. And you could reduce this carb number even more. But something to kind of think about. And, as always, it's like, this is not about what you should do. Um, Everyone is just so obsessed with what other people should be doing, how they should be thinking, and it really doesn't matter. The thing is, be a good person, and what does that actually entail? That means give yourself the things that you want, so respect your desires, and don't judge them. And also don't judge them if you're not doing things that you should be doing according to other people. And the golden rule: treat others the way that you want to be treated. And for people in the fitness industry to shame or to, it's not even shame. Like they're in their own little echo chambers and they talk about, I can't believe people do this, or you should really be doing this, and worried about other people's health. Like, relax. Oh, 70% of the population, and even I've said these things, like 70% of the population, probably closer to 74-75%, is overweight and obese. But there's a distinction between saying that and it being a judgment and just making an observation, right? My observation is people are living longer and longer, and yeah, I mean, it's probably not convenient to be overweight and have all kinds of illnesses, but it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you should, judge somebody or whatever. Like, be cool. That's it. Don't do things that are disrespectful to others. And in the grand scheme, it's like it's disrespectful to yourself, right? So, anyways, that goes to this food thing. Is like, um, there's no should, and there's definitely, a big opportunity when it comes to figuring out what is your own personal preference. Because when you find out your personal preference, and maybe that's to be fat, maybe you prefer, and I have no idea. Me personally, my preference, I can't stand it. I've been skinny fat, I've been fat, and I've been ripped. It just feels so much better. And when I remove all of these emotions and like all this stuff around this topic, it becomes easy to just like be like, what my preference is to be lean, and I'm not going to then judge other people for not being, or what they should be, or whatever, right? So that's that. You know, get in on those quadrant 2 foods. Enjoy things. You also don't have to either. Like, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, how can you eat chicken and broccoli?" Yeah, that probably sucks, especially if you don't know how to cook. I mean, but if somebody likes chicken and broccoli, then and they don't want to eat delicious things like this, so what? What does that matter, right? I prefer some flavor in my life, and like, these are the kind of things that I like to eat. Um, you know, and all of this stuff comes from observation. Oh, this is one of my favorites, by the way. One of my favorite quadrant 1 foods. is poke. And it's so easy to make. It's probably like one of the simplest things as far as like uh, convenience. Is it fast and easy? So fast, so easy. Um, like you don't have to eat bland chicken if you don't want to. You just got to have some skills. And there's a post somewhere in here about what the skill sets, and then I have a couple of different phases. um, let's see if we can find that. Couple of different phases as you go through your skill development, which is really the big key. It's all about skill development. These are the early versions of that. Oh, okay, so these are the three phases that I have as far as like your nutrition skills, right? Number one is make your own foods, have single ingredient foods, have boxed foods. Um, the skills in phase one, here they are, is making your own foods, meaning you know how to use, you know how to cook. Oh, and like, you know, this is possible eating, some delicious things here. Um, by the way, this is me skinny fat in college as a college basketball player. Very, very different. But you don't have to, like, you can, this is all quadrant one right here. This is all quadrant one. Um, like if you like this, fine. But I like crunchy tacos. Um, and they're so easy to make. I like breaded chicken, chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, blah blah blah. Um, but again, like observe, right? If you know, and if you observe, when people try to eat the bland chicken breast and just broccoli, there's not very many people who are like, yeah, I'm going to eat like this for the rest of my life. And so their fat loss or them being lean is dependent on doing something that they hate. You can say, how long is that person going to be able to do that? And you can look around, there's not a lot of people who stick with that. Even like bodybuilders and people who do this, like they're often, you know, in even worse places because they'll be completely fucked in the head because once the show's over, they go crazy and they can have these wild swings back and forth, but like, or if you just learn how to cook a little bit and use these simple tools, you can eat delicious things every day, and stay lean, right? Because, and it's all from changing your frame of how you look at food, using the food enjoyment matrix versus, you know, number one, being unaware of how you think, or what lens or what framework you're using, which is usually a form of all or nothing thinking. So that's that. Yeah, questions, let me know. If you need help, let me know.